Okay, in this video, I want to mention a few things about things called environments. What is an environment? Well, this begin document and end document, this is an environment. In general, an environment is anything that starts with the command begin, and then here will go the name of the environment, and ends with the name of the environment. And as you can see, share LaTeX automatically puts the end there for you. Okay, so within the block, but after the begin name and before the end name, LaTeX is going to display that text and format that text, whatever you have in there, in a certain way depending on the environment that you use. So the document environment, LaTeX displays text a certain way. And as you can see, you can have nested environments. So let's look at a few more. Let's look at a few environments. So what is one thing? So the example that the LaTeX user guide mentions, or I think the first example it uses is quotes. So let's say you have a sizable quote that you don't want to just put around, you don't just want to put quotation marks around, but you want to use a block quote. You can use begin quote. So we can say something like this. I don't know. Okay, I just got up to get an anthology of short stories. This is just a passage from The Other Woman by Sherwood Anderson, a short story. So the story says, begin quote. Okay, when I press enter, share LaTeX puts that there for you, or for me. If you didn't have share LaTeX, you'd have to write it. But anyways, so now it would be something like, this paragraph actually starts with a quote. So what is that I am okay, so on and so forth. Okay, so let me make this look right. Okay, I literally just opened up an anthology because I wanted to get some text. Okay, so this is a quote of block text, and I think that it means, whoa. Okay, so this is just all I'm trying to show you is just an example of how you can use an environment using quotes. So in other words, what's happening here? So the environment is called quote. You know what a block quote should look like. If you didn't have to use it, if you didn't use this environment, you would have to manually indent all of these lines and hope that you got it correct and hope that it was consistent for all of the other quotes that you're using and all of the other block quotes. But again, the good thing about LaTeX is that it takes care of that for you. So you know you want it to be a block quote, you just tell LaTeX that you want it to be a block quote, and it takes care of the other things for you. Okay, it takes care of the details for you. Okay, and things like this are called displayed material. So another environment that I use a lot. This is, I think, the next one. Yes, talked about in the guide to LaTeX, are various lists. So there is itemize, there's enumerate, and there's description. Okay, so let's look at itemize. Let's say I want to just list the people in my family. So Rob is me. My wife is Kara. Our son is Lewis. Our son that is on the way is Henry. So you could write something like this. Okay, now by default, it just gives these dots. It just gives bullet points. But let's say you don't want bullet points. Let's say you want to have numbers. Well, after the item, you can just write the number. And it'll get something like this. Okay, so it puts the numbers. Of course, maybe you want to do it with parentheses around it. Okay, and you can have something like this. Now, let's say for whatever reason, I forgot to put Lewis. I would not do that, but let's say I forgot to put Lewis. and we have something like this. And then I'm like, whoops. And then I think, oh, well, I should have put Lewis. Well, notice what's going to happen. I'm going to have to renumber things like this. Okay, and if I decide, you know what, I would rather have parentheses, or sorry, I would rather have dots than parentheses, I have to change everything. Okay, so this is nice, but that's kind of a pain to use. So in the next video, I'm going to tell you about something called packages, and there is a specific package that solves this problem that we're talking about. Okay, it has commands similar to itemize. Okay, but it is done in such a way that you don't have to change every single one if you make one change. Okay, so in other words, if I wanted to go from here to parentheses, I wouldn't have to change all of the parentheses. Or maybe instead of having numbers, I wanted to have letters. Okay, it makes it so that, well, you'll see in the next video. Okay. Okay, there are other environments that are mentioned in the LaTeX guide. I just wanted to give an overview of what an environment is and show you two examples. I will warn you of one thing. So the standard way in LaTeX, I guess the default way in LaTeX to display math formulas is this display math environment. Don't use that. If you're using it now, that's fine, but don't use it. In the next video, like I said, I'm going to tell you about two packages and what a package is, and there is a better thing to use other than what comes default with the LaTeX distribution, and I will tell you about that in an upcoming video.